What's going on, everybody? Every time we're doing something different today. So I really can't even see how I'm looking on this thing. I wonder if I turn it like this. Because I want my greenery to be. Ooh. Oh, let's get into the things of the things. Of the things, of the things, of the things, of the things, of the things. Because I'm about to have these two model bitches get on here and they're not going to stand me up. I got to have some type of fighting chance, right? Can you guys hear me well? Can you see me well? I'm down here looking at the comments at you guys. Oh, you guys can see me. Can you guys hear me? Am I moving great? I've never done this before. And the thing is, people pay me to come set this shit up in their house. And I've never done it for myself. It's my first time doing it for myself. And I don't know why I'm so nervous. Perfect. You guys can hear and see me. Listen. Today, we have the pleasures of speaking to two amazing people who are on Top Model, Cycle 12, the winner and the top 3 finalists, Amina and Teyona. And you know what, guys? We really have to clap it up for Teyona because after our chat the last time, she's the one who kind of suggested this. And I was like, oh my God, do you think Amina would say yes? And she was like, girl, she'll say yes. I was like, you really think she'll say yes? She was like, she'll say yes. And then here we are. So let's clap it up for Teyona Anderson for still giving the things of the things of the things. This wasn't my idea. I like to give bitches their credit when credit is due. And this was Teyona Anderson's idea. And I'm so happy everyone said yes. And we are here. So I'm going to look down at my phone and my computer to see if my ladies are ready to be brought on. They're looking so good right now. If you guys are ready, give me thumbs up. Ooh.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello there. Hi, Teyona.
Hello. You guys are looking good.
Thank you.
I got little tay-tays out for you.
Yeah, I see.
Yo, the
Teyona,
is weird. I don't know if you guys can hear it on my side, that it's really bad.
I can hear you clearly.
I can hear you too.
Okay. I think it's when we all three try to talk at the same time. I can't, like, it sounds like weird static.
Okay.
But yeah, I can hear you good.
So yes, guys, this is not a rebroadcast. This is a live, outline, in color, in the moment, in real time moment that's going on right now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Teyona, it is so great to see you again. It is so great to be on this virtual well with you. Amina, it is a pleasure to meet you virtually.
Likewise, Oliver. It's an honor and a privilege. And happy Friday, guys.
Yes. Happy Friday.
Oh,
Happy Pink Friday.
See any like Hershey Kisses, chocolate chips pop out?
They look good though. They sitting.
Thank you, baby. Thank you.
They look really nice.
They do.
Thank you, guys. They finally came in, so we gotta,
So between the three of us, the girls have gotten at least 3 lives already of us talking about Cycle 12 of Top Model.
Yeah.
So, of course, the girls did give us some new questions, but I'm really foreseeing and predicting it's just going to be a nice key session about the whole situation.
Okay.
Should I just jump right into the questions?
Jump right into it. And then I feel like it's good that I know people want to hear things from other people's point of view, but hearing it from me and Amina, I know they heard it from Amina and Fo, so you're getting honest accounts of what happened, kind of. So there's that. Not to talk about anybody else, but the truth.
Listen, so recently this week, Top Model was put out on Netflix.
Oh wow!
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it either.
It is now available on Netflix.
Okay. Is that a good thing? Because it was on Amazon Prime.
It's on, well, I watch it on Hulu. I never knew it was on Amazon Prime, but it's on Amazon Prime now. And this week it was like this big thing with it being on Netflix. So there was like this resurgence of people on Twitter doing a lot of things. Have you guys gotten any new surge of comments and DMs and stuff like that from people who are watching the show now?
No, I get DMs kind of all the time about like it be airing in different countries and they're watching it there, but nobody said anything about Netflix.
What about you, Amina?
No, I didn't. I don't know a damn thing. So no DMs. And then also, if you do slide in my DMs, and it's like one of those that you have to like request, I don't check those on a regular. So maybe some DMs, but for the most part, it's been smooth sailing. I feel I have had a lot more comments about Top Model since Teyona and I went live last week. But other than that, zilch.
What have some of the comments been?
Positive for the most part. It's like, oh wow, you guys are still giving black magic. You ladies are beautiful. I love your friendship. I love that you guys are still in touch. A lot of like it's just so nice to see the women that you guys have grown into, kind of thing. Um, for what I saw for the most part, and then like our IG live got like a really good amount of views, so I was actually surprised that people are still interested. Like,
Yes.
I still got questions. Yeah, I still don't understand. But I think it's just a lot of love. So I think that there was a lot of like top model community love, especially for our cycle. So it's nice to hear from, our perspective rather than watching what you watch on television and then assuming you know Teyana and assuming you know me, Amina, when you really don't. We were just on the show. And the fact that it's on Netflix, I'm low-key excited, but also kind of mad because it's like, do they cut us a check?
Right. Am I going to get a little SAG check in the mail?
You know what I mean? I'm looking for that SAG after check.
Right.
Like money, 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 money. So yeah, I'm kind of like, okay, what that got to do with us?
Oh, that's funny. So this week, before I get into the questions, I want to be kind of messy right now.
Okay.
This week, there was a little thing going on the internet where Naomi Campbell actually posted this article. I can't remember verbatim. Teyona, don't look like that. But Naomi Campbell posted this article where it basically, and I'm paraphrasing, the title of it was, Tyra Banks is a real villain, Naomi Campbell isn't. And so, oh yes. And so I had to go make sure it was the truth. And Mother boldly had it in there with a swipe up link, meaning she wanted the people to know, read, digest, and understand the things that had been writing into that article. Now, the people were down in the comments saying that Naomi Campbell must be watching me talking to you girls, about this. And in talking to some of you guys, and a lot of the women of color who potentially could remind Tyra of some type of Naomi Campbell ism, whatever. Do you guys think there is something there with, one, Tyra Banks having this PTSD about Naomi, which resulted in her treating you guys some type of way? Because Amina, she said you had a body that would rival Naomi Campbell.
First of all, I take that as a compliment because, I do love me some Naomi Campbell. So if she ever watches this, Naomi, Amina loves you. But like every dark skin, light skin, brown skin, all the skin, black model or black girl who wants to become a model loves Naomi Campbell. Like what is there not to love? You know what I'm saying? So for me, I take that as a compliment. But to answer your question, I think that it's about time for people to know the truth and not sitting here saying that Tyra is the villain or whatever the case is, but she wasn't nice. And you can't get me crying victim about somebody bullying you or ending your career, quote unquote, compliment, but story over and over for years and years and years later. Meanwhile, there's a track record that shows that you haven't been good, kind, nice, helpful to the black models that the aspiring models that you put on America's Next Top Model, and there's no following up of careers or trying to help them. But like when it comes to non-black models, you go hard for them. I'm like, to me, the proof is in the pudding. Like actions speak louder than words. So like Naomi Campbell, I've had the honor and the privilege to meet her, and she's been nothing but a freaking goddess. Like she's a goddess walking on earth, and she's a real one. And like she's not shy to compliment you. She's not shy to kind of like give you advice. Like she would give you advice and help you, and I can say the same about Tyra Banks. And we filmed on a show with her being the judge for 2.5 months, and I don't have that same energy. And I met Naomi Campbell one time, and she was a real one. The one time I met her, you know what I mean? So for me, that's what I gotta say. Like, you meet someone, and then energy doesn't lie. Everything else is bullshit.
What about you, Teyona?
So when that little thing came out, and that I had because a lot of my friends, like my close friends, family, like they know how the situation was. They know the run-ins I had with Tyra after the show. So anytime somebody brings up something with her, they send it to me like, "Oh, girl, look." And because I've always been quiet, don't say anything about it, they're like, "I know what's going on here." So when I saw it, I was like, "Look at that." But it's how now you're doing all the interviews with all of us, and it's coming out more, like, oh, she isn't really this nice person that everybody said she was. So I don't think it's a PTSD situation, because I feel like when you have the opportunity to change and be different and give somebody else an opportunity, you do that. Because if somebody was, so she says Naomi Campbell was messing up her money, stopping her from getting bookings, all that stuff. If you know that's what she was doing to you, why would you do it to other people? You would think you would be wanting to open the door, because you already know how hard it is for Black girls in the industry.
Yep.
So you know that. You don't care. You throw us to the wayside after we leave your show. That's that. And even while we're on your show, you didn't check on us. Like, you don't, none of that. We never had one-on-one conversations with her, anything. I know with me, the final photo shoot that I did with Tyra probably was less than 5 minutes.
Wow.
We got it just quick.
I didn't know that.
You were like, done. We got it. Yeah, it was quick.
Can I ask?
I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, that was that.
So, like, I don't want to be messy, but like, if we're going to, do it, let's do it. I wanted to know, because I never got like a one-on-one shoot with Tyra, and you did. Like, how was that energy shooting with her? Like, and I mean, from your perspective, like, how did you feel, working with her in that moment? And like, was it receptive? Was it weird? Was it positive? Was it like, oh my God, this is amazing? And then like afterwards, being cycle 12 winner, you have more of a relationship, top model, like episodes for like cycle 13. How was that, like, behind the scenes interaction with Tyra Banks? I would like to know that.
Okay, so after I won, it's like you're on a high.
Mm-hmm.
Still being on that high, it was kind of like it was just energy was fake. It wasn't like she was genuinely like, oh, we're gonna knock this out. Like I said, my photo shoot was less than 5 minutes. So got it, bam, bam, bam. That's it. I see you later. Congratulations. That's it. So that was that. All the conversation I had with her. Then huh?
She didn't give you no advice for like?
No, nothing. She had nothing for me. After that, I think the next time we saw each other was at the Tyra show. Then after that, after A&T and aired, we had to do press for CW. Okay. We were walking in the hallway. She walked right past me, said nothing.
Really?
Nothing. Did not open her mouth. So I'm very much like, hey, I'm 5'10". I know you see me. I'm not invisible. So you don't speak. I'm not going to speak. We get on stage and she's like, this is my baby. Teyona, she just won, blah, blah, blah. So that's all the interactions I've had with Tyra, nothing more. So it's like, I haven't had enough interaction with her to say it's been good, but what I've had has always been very fake and forced.
That's disappointing.
No, it's very disappointing.
And I've shared this story a bunch of times. I never sought out in 2020 to be like some top model. Like, I never did. It really honestly was me just like watching Jay's chats, and the producer of my show used to work on you guys' show, and he was like, we would just talk about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm bored one day. Let me just go live with Dion. And that was the first one, and I put it up and everyone started liking it. And so I was like, well, Jay's chat is done. Let me just like be like some Infinity Stones type of just try to collect them all. Let me see if I can get all cycles underneath my belt just to talk with the girls. And then as I'm doing these chats, and you guys know, I don't ask any questions before, I don't ask any specific, I don't ask anything. It's, when we get on live is when we get on live, and whatever comes out, comes out. And so as I've been getting these stories and it's building this anthology of information. It has become this thing now, and I'm like, I hope Tyra don't think I don't like her or I got a vendetta against her, whatever it is. Because I don't. But I think it is important that you girls are now sharing your stories. Because for so many people like me and fans around the world, without these lives and you guys telling us what really happened, we just think Top Model was just this bubblegum candy pop experience. Everyone was happy. Everyone was friends. Tyra is, this big mentor who wants to help all the girls in the land, and the lambs lead them the milk of honey. And we're learning that it's not the case. Disappointing.
Disappointing, but not surprising, y'all.
Right. And then I think it's even more disappointing when you hear that, not to compare the two, because I've never met Naomi, but to know that on the show she had with her girls, like she's walking after the show is over, she's walking them step by step, checking on them, seeing how they're doing, if they're working, things like that, making sure they have certain opportunities. And it's like, ooh, we over here just chilling.
Yeah, figuring it out on our own.
And I mean,
without quote unquote mother, right? Because at the end of the day, like if we're her babies, sorry, I'm trying to fix my camera, y'all.
No problem.
If we're her babies, right, she would be our mama bear. So like, it's the same thing, Oliver. It's not like we don't like Tyra. We don't have anything against Tyra Banks, right? But we want to dispel this rumor that like she really looks out after her top model girls. And I get it. She can't look out after everybody. But like for me, when it becomes like you're only looking after a certain type of people, or like you don't go out your way to help young Black models like break into the industry, and that's like your whole claim to fame is to help younger, aspiring models who might not look like the typical model, or might not have the same opportunity as a white girl with blonde hair and looks like the average girl in middle America, and she's skinny and she's 15 and she's 16. Like, look at like Cecilia's situation. She was 25 when she was on the show, and that's supposed to give her a platform to make it into the industry. And all they did was rag her for being 25. Meanwhile, damn well she was 25, because you guys have all the paperwork, and that's why you chose her. And to show that, like, yes, she's 25, but she can still model, and there's still room for older models. 25 is not old, but older models in this industry to work and to shine. And to me, it's just it's frustrating. Like you're perpetrating one message, but in real life, your energy is something else. And what we're not going to do is act like we're all boo-boo the fool. You know what I mean? Because we're not. We're grown-ass women now. But like then we were these young, impressionable models who really looked up to a Tyra Banks, really looked at America's Next Top Model as a way to gain some insight in the modeling industry and in the fashion world. And it's like, okay, I worked with Miss J and Mr. J and Tyra Banks, and, I had all these judges come and like judge you. Now what? You still struggling? Like you still can't, get an agency. You still can't get work after you were kicked off and you didn't win. And the reality is it hurts more when you don't win, because it's not like you want to win, but you don't win. So you're not the winner, right? And then it's like, still nobody wants to touch you. How's that possible? How do you still have to struggle to get agencies or to even get appointments or to get signed? And you didn't win. Like the stigma shouldn't follow you if you didn't win, but apparently it does, when you're Black. When you're Black, it's just that much harder.
And then it's even worse, I want to say. So after I won, you would think I won, like, oh, they would make sure you're set because they send you on press tours, all these things. So come from the country. My style now is nothing to what it was when I was 20, 21.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, you need to go all these places. I had to get clothes on my own. Like, you're Tyra Banks. You had you had many people. You guys couldn't give me a stylist to make sure I had clothes. No, nothing.
That's crazy.
After that show aired, like, after it airs, you got to go back to living your regular life. I'm out here struggle busing it. I could barely get to the train station back home, but I'm supposed to bring a wardrobe too of stuff to do all these different, press stuff. What? They had nothing.
They didn't give you a stylist, T. No. They didn't dress you, so everything you were wearing was yours?
After the show aired, all those interviews and things that y'all saw me on, that was my own clothes. All me.
No.
Yes.
T.
It was, I think, like a week.
That breaks my heart.
I got a PR person at that point, and then it was like, you know, she would give like jeans or little stuff like that. But I'm doing like big events. I'm doing interviews on the news, like going on shows, holding interviews. I need more than a pair of jeans. Nothing.
My mouth is wide
So,
open. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was rough.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, that doesn't even make sense.
That doesn't make sense at all. Earlier this week, I talked to Alicia from Cycle 18 of Top Model when they did the Brits versus the Americans, and of course we all know the drama surrounding her wanting to leave the show and quitting and all that. But she told us a story of her and her mother coming back to the U.S. and she had won the prize where they could stay at the Beverly Hills Hotel, which the prize consisted of 3 nights. She said she walked her ass up to the counter and the lady told her that the people had only paid for 2 nights. And when she went back and told, I guess, the liaison between her and the show to facilitate the prize, they told her they wasn't paying for a 3rd night.
This is, you know, like to me, it costs them nothing to stand by their word. So it's just kind of like, I'm being real. I'm not even surprised. It's just, again, disappointed. Like, and I don't even think that a lot of the time is, you know, Tyra's fault. It could just be production, you know, miscommunication, trying to amp it up to make it seem like you're going to get more than you really are going to get. And then when it comes down to it, they're just like, yeah, no, it's a no. We were giving you 2 nights. Be grateful that you even got 2 nights.
Do you guys have any specific stories of run-ins with production that probably weren't so great?
I only have one when I was in Hawaii when I went back to film for Cycle 13. And I think we weren't even filming that day. So it was like late at night. Producer had been drunk, whatever. And like he ran into me. He was like, oh, how's everything going? I'm like, oh, you know, they're sending me out, blah, blah, blah. I plan on going to South Africa in like a couple of weeks, whatever. He was like, oh, we don't care about any of that. He was like, you girls probably won't ever work again. He was like, you just, and that's it. Time Out doesn't do anything for your career. We're not here to help you. And I was like, oh. And you know, Amy and Maika, I went back and told them immediately, and they're like, I am not surprised. They were like, but he gets drunk and like says anything out his mouth. And the next day they said something to him about that. He was all next day, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, what you said was true, and you meant that. But it was like somebody stabbed me in my heart because I'm like, you're in my face telling me like this show is not meant here to, you know, put here to open doors for us. Like it's just for win. Like this is all for you guys in your pockets, and that's that.
What about you?
I'm glad he said it.
No, 100%. Yeah, I'm glad he said it.
Because sometimes you need to know where you stand, and like this falsehood of like kumbaya, like AMTM, we're a family moment. You mentioned Alicia. I don't know who she is because I didn't watch that cycle, and I don't know if you know that, you know, after you do the show, like you don't want to. I don't even watch TV the same way, so I definitely didn't watch Top Model because it's like you kind of know how they can splice and edit and like make people look a certain way. But I also wasn't interested in watching the show because I feel as though like once you're in it, you're good. But T, girl, the fuck. Like, the fuck. You're better than me. God bless you. You're godsend because it couldn't be me. With my big mouth and my Nigerian energy, it couldn't be me. Like, real talk. Because somebody would have definitely had more than a piece of my opinion and my mind. But for me, with production, I never had a problem with production. There was just that one producer on our cycle that she would just antagonize you, you know, to say things about another girl. Like, you're not trying to get into some ish, right? But she'd be like, I know you don't like that bitch.
Oh, during the interview?
Like, huh?
So doing the one-on-one interviews?
Yeah, doing the one-on-ones, like, and then, and like, so what you guys see is just us, but you don't realize that there's a producer asking us these questions about the other contestant. How do you think the challenge went? All of this, right? So then, you know, the question, at least for me, about Natalie comes up, and it's just like, yo, I don't even want to talk about that. And it's like, well, we're going to talk about it. I know you don't like her. So what I need you to do, you know, is tell me how you feel about her on camera. And I was like, well, you already know how I feel. Like, this has been an ongoing thing. There's nothing new. And she's just like, well, I know you don't like her. So, and then it's like, they're really trained. I think they're really good at like psychological warfare in a way, like to pull, you know, things out of you. And I think for me, being younger at the time, it was just so easy to just, you know, pop off on them with the mouth about, oh, this and that and a third. So I don't think that the producers in our cycle were problematic. There was just, for me, that one, I don't remember her name, but she was a female producer. And clearly she was good at her job because she got results. You know, she got you to talk about a contestant you didn't like. She got you to like kind of like open your heart and pour out things that you probably would have just kept to yourself. So if anything, kudos to her, but like she was looking problematic. Well, I'm not gonna lie.
Amina, you know, and just having my content creator hat on and just, you know, whatever I'm filming and whatever, I would have kept you along until top 3 too. You are very candid in how you just respond to things. I would have kept you. I would have kept you too. I would have kept you.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, apparently, you know what? If you're good TV, you're good TV. I just wasn't apparently a good model, and I had to learn that after the show. And good is relative, right?
Very relative. I was about to say, because you're stunning.
No, me.
Thank you. But it's not about being stunning. It's not about being pretty. It's not about being put together. And that's one thing that, like, I feel as though the show doesn't necessarily highlight in the most positive way. It's about, like, being able to transform. Can you transform into another character, another identity, whatever the client or the photographer wants? And I feel like if they were talking about modeling in a more, like, professional and serious way, I think a lot of us would have more knowledge than we did, leaving top model and going into the quote unquote modeling and fashion world, because most models can't do shit. Like, and not to be in like a negative Nancy, but they can't do their own makeup. They can't really do their own hair. They like, and I'm generalizing.
They don't dress well.
Yeah, they don't dress well unless they have like, no, being real. This is real talk. They don't know nothing. They don't even know like who, like, you know, like Tyra used to like grill some back in the day, the girls about knowing your designers, knowing, you know, other models that are doing it. But in 2020, even in 2018, like, I don't think these girls know like designer people. Like, you only might know Aliyah, Azadine Aliyah, because of Naomi Campbell, because that was her pop-up, right? But Aliyah, honey, Aliyah knew the woman's body and physique, like dress for women. The same way with like Valentino. Valentino loves like glam and beauty. Like, you know, you could talk about YSL, Yves Saint Laurent, and all these other top fashion houses, you know, like who is the head of Gucci, you know, now, because Gucci came back hard body. Like Gucci was dying, same way Fendi was dying. And then now, you know, like all of this, they just revamp. They take a designer and then they put him as the head or her as the head of this fashion house, and they revamp the image of these huge fashion houses. And I don't think there's enough education when it comes to the fashion world, right, with models. And they don't need to, because now everybody is a model. Everybody's a photographer. Everybody's a makeup and hairstylist. Everyone is a wardrobe stylist. It's just like, it's great to open the industry, right? And to everyone, but it's like, where's the quality? And that's not being shady. That's honesty. Like, if everybody's a model and a photographer, like, what about the ones that went and studied and are passionate and they eat, breathe, and sleep this, but they don't have the same Instagram following or social media following? Like, they get lost in the sauce, but like, they're the real, in my opinion, they're the real artists. They're the real content creator. They're the real innovators in this industry, because they're pushing limits and pushing boundaries irrespective to, you know, what the followers or, you know, social media algorithm is saying is beautiful and you need to pay attention to this. They're the real artists, and they're getting lost in the muck of all the other people who are doing X, Y, and Z, because we're all models now, right? Like, I could take a really pretty picture with a filter, you know, and now it's like, I'm an Instagram model. Oh, I'm a high fashion model. It's like, no, darling, I wish it was that easy for
And
us.
it's not.
No,
I really wish it was that easy for us because, like, I think things would have been different if we had social media in the same manner we had it in our site.
Of course.
so different.
And
So-
maybe I'm being salty, but I said what I said.
Well, no, you can go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you girls a couple of fan questions?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so y'all know my motto and in my steez and my stilo. I try to pick the questions that I see occur a lot, and then ones I think you guys haven't answered before. So
Okay.
All right.
buckle up. All right, here we go. So Adrienne wants to know: do they tell the girls to scream and freak out, especially if Tyra is around?
Teyona, you go answer that one.
So it's definitely been times during Tyra mail where we go, like, all right, or they gotta tell you like, hey, it's Tyra mail downstairs. Go downstairs, and we're like walking, and like you're like Tyra mail. We're like, all right, and they're like, we'll be here all night if y'all don't get excited.
Mm-hmm.
So they will legit tell you if it's not enough enthusiasm, like we will film this nonstop until you get it right.
Yeah.
It's true.
Thank you. Soli K wants to know, this is for Teyona. I'm really curious. How did that $100,000 contract with CoverGirl actually work?
Okay, so everybody wants to know about that money. Okay, so I got it in 2 installments. The show aired in May. I think I might have got my first installment September, October. So I was real broke for a real long time. So I think the first time I got it, I think they break it up in $50,000 increments. So after taxes, they take a lot of taxes out. So I didn't get anywhere near 100,000. So yeah, I got a little bit less than half after taxes both times, but you know, something is better than nothing. So I won't complain. But that was the extent of it. I got, you know, I didn't do any work with CoverGirl afterwards. My agency was trying, and they kept telling me, you know, if you want to work, we got to push you away from top model as much as possible. He was like, because they're calling me to do, you know, grocery store openings. He was like, I'm not sending you out on that. He said, I'm telling them they're wasting your time. And it's like, they'll call you for a grocery store opening, but I can't get you to call in here and be like, hey, this girl, you know, she's a good girl, like, worker. So that's kind of what I was going through.
Where did your ad run? Like, was it print? Was it in store?
Neither. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Isn't that sad?
My CoverGirl, I don't even know if it was in the 17 magazine that I was on the cover on. I didn't. You know what? I did. Was it in Walmart? I don't know, to be honest. I've never seen it. So somebody else, I've never seen it. So there was no moments I was like out in Walmart and saw myself and was like, oh my God. No, it never happened.
Amina, can I ask you a question about your CoverGirl photo?
Yeah, ask away.
Do you think that was your best photo? Because I didn't think that was your best photo. I
know it wasn't my best photo. Like, I know on God, on everything, that was my best photo. But that doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. It like, we don't decide what photos we pick. And like, what people don't realize, the photographer that shot our CoverGirl photo has been with us since day one. So he knew us. Like, we knew him. We saw him on buses, on the set. Like, he was just always be around. So like, I will say, like, for me, from what I remember, and I know that CoverGirl photo for me was like the photo shoot, I should say, was the best photo shoot I had on Top Model. The best. Like, I was so comfortable. Like, he slipped up and I saw some like behind, like, I saw the images that we took, because he kept telling me, he's like, you know, you need to get comfortable. Like, who's the sexiest man alive or whatever, think that, you know, you're shooting and you're looking into the camera, and it's, for me, it was Morris Chestnut, because, you know, I love a good chocolate daddy. Yeah, so it was Morris Chestnut that I was imagining, right? So like, I felt so comfortable, and to, you know, go into the top 3 finale or elimination, and then that was the picture that was chosen. I was just kind of like, honestly, my heart sank, but I was like, of course, right? But it wasn't bad. Even the picture they chose wasn't bad. It's just like, they had to say, it's like, oh, I remember Tyra specifically saying, like, this looks like a high school graduation picture, right? Like I just look super cheesy. And I was just like, well, I know there was other frames where I didn't look cheesy and it was sultry, but it was friendly and it was smizing with the eyes and all of that. But was that chosen? No, because You don't get to pick your photos. I don't even know if Tyra gets to pick the photos, but I feel like they probably give her like a top 5 and then she picks the one that she wants. I don't know how that operates, right? But I'm not surprised they chose not the most flattering picture of moi, you know?
Sounds like they know something about how these pictures are chose.
Who, Oliver?
Yeah, he's looking like he know a little something. Spill it.
Oh, do you spill the tea, honey? Because we don't know.
We have no clue.
At all. Still don't. Oh, no.
I just don't want nobody calling me, but give me 1 second. I can blame it on that. Listen, so from what I was told from the people, I'm not going to say any names.
Okay.
Oh my God.
What's wrong? Spill
Okay,
it.
listen, from what I was told, they said that from time to time, if according to the story,
Okay.
someone was supposed to be gone or an elimination needed to, I feel so bad saying this, but I'm gonna say it. I already started saying, you know, if from time to time, if somebody needed to go home according to the story, or if someone else needed to look better in order to progress so that it makes sense to them, you know, sometimes a great photo would not be chosen.
That makes 100% sense. It makes sense.
Yeah, and then can I also add, right? No cap. Like, I knew I was going home because if it's the final 2 and it was the runway challenge, right? Y'all know I eat up a runway. I eat that up for breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert, appetizer, fucking all of it. Like, I live for a runway, baby. So if that's what it is, it's like you can't have a super strong walker, you know? And then let's say it was Teyona that got sent home. Like, I'm glad it wasn't because we know what it was, right? And it was me and Allison. It wouldn't have been fair. It wouldn't have been fair, right? Or let's say they took Allison home, like they kicked her off, which we all know you're not gonna have a top 2 with 2 black girls. Like, we're not doing a Yaya and a Eva repeat. You know what I mean? It just wasn't happening. And then like Tyra was so obsessed with Allison's eyes, like she's big, you know, doll eyes. Like, we already understood what time it was. So even if it was me and Teyona, right? I literally would be giving Teyona runway lessons. Like, it's not going to be like, oh, we're competing against each other. It would be like, nah, T, you know, shoulders back, like, lead with your hips and just fuck that runway up. You know, it would be that type of energy where it would be like camaraderie and helping your sister out. And I don't think that would have played well. You know, like how you do the top 2 and then you guys are like freaking sister, like
right.
They're like, they don't want this kumbaya energy. So I just knew you gonna put me in the final 2. I didn't see it happening. So I knew I was going home, and I knew I was definitely going home the moment I got to, I don't know if you remember this, T. When we came in, you know, and then we met all the judges, and I was wearing this black dress, and Tyra was also wearing a black dress, like with the poofy sleeve. And then she was like, oh, Amina, you and I look like we're wearing the same dress, so like we're twins today. And I just looked at her like, no, we're not. No. So to me, that was like the kiss of death. Like, it registered in my head as okay.
Amina, now that you're sharing your space with me, I'm curious to know if you can tell us your story, which you've done it before in your own lives, but explain to us your story and your relationship with Tyra Banks. Like, the start, what changed or what did you notice, and then to where we are now?
Well, I think my story is pretty evident from like the show, right? I never modeled before. Like in Vegas, and when we were doing the semifinals, like she called me first to the house. Like, I don't know if she personally picked me or whatever, but in my head, it's like I was chosen first. And I was like, wow, this is a big deal. Like, Tyra MF Banks called me first to go into the house. So like, I was super excited. And like, to be honest with you, I was such a huge fan of Tyra Banks, and not just like top model show, but of her in general, from the whole persona of Auntie Tai Tai. Like, I just felt as though she's gonna see how bad I want this and how much I want to learn and like get into the industry, and then like that passion is going to rub off on her and like kind of, I don't know, carry you like, carry you into like, all right, this girl has what it takes, so let's do what we can and let's pool our resources to make sure that she's going to be somewhat successful. And then like I figured out really quickly that we're just another number and just another face and just another body on the show. So it's like there's no way that Tyra Banks can get to know you because she wasn't present on the show. She wasn't present in the house. She didn't have one-on-one. She didn't necessarily speak with us. So even the dinner that we had at the park, that it was like a house dinner, I don't know if you remember this, T, but it's like we were thinking, okay, Tyra's gonna come. Tyra's gonna. We were just like, oh, we knew she was gonna come, because in other cycles, when they have like this house gathering at a restaurant or in a special place in the apartment that they were staying, Tyra would surprise them and actually show up, and she never did. So I was just like, okay. And then it would just be like, I remember not the best comments about me in general. Like, I couldn't take a picture to save my life, like a good picture to save my life, things like that. And it just made me realize, like, yo, sis don't really fuck with you, Amina. Like, she picked you first in the house don't mean anything. Like, because the energy was never welcoming or warm for me. And like I told you, energy doesn't lie. And I'm 6 feet, right? On my comp cards, I'm 5'11". But in real life, I'm 6 feet. And I think Tyra's like 5'10", 5'11", maybe. So it's like, to me, it's like, okay, she wants to be the tallest, the baddest bee in the room. And I understand that, but like, I can't chop my leg off, sis. So if I'm 6 feet without heels and then I put on heels, I'm going to be like 6'4" to 6'6". And I think that was like a dynamic of like kind of putting you in your place. Like, don't you dare like be grander than me. Don't you dare be bigger. And to me, it's like, there's no way I can be bigger than you besides the physicality of it all, because you're a motherfucking Tyra Banks. Like, this is your show. We're here to learn from you. We're here because most of us loved you or love you in a certain way. So I didn't understand where the angst was, but then I can understand, like, if you sit here and tell me that my body is comparable to Naomi Campbell, and maybe low-key I might remind you of Naomi Campbell because I'm sassy and I'm spicy.
She's gonna have it out for you.
And it might be a little like, well, why is she still here? Because honestly, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It made no sense why I was in the bottom 2 like 4 times. I think I was in bottom 2 a lot. I remember thinking every time I was in the bottom 2, I'm gonna get kicked off. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get sent home. There's not one time I was in the bottom 2 and I was just like, oh, I'm gonna be safe. Every time it was just like, fuck again. Literally, I think one episode was like I was in the bottom 2 back to back. Like, why am I still here? I didn't understand it. So I'm just in my head, I'm like, well, it can't be because Tyra likes me, right? I don't or saw potential in me. I felt like the only reason why I was saved was because the producer knew me. The producers behind the scenes that you guys don't know anything about probably advocated to keep me in the house because I was just good TV. Maybe not the best model or not even a good model, but it's like, oh, keep her in the house because she's spicy. She's gonna say something, she's gonna give you the B-roll credits that you need.
Right.
Yeah, so that's it. And then, like, as of today, I don't have any relationship with Tyra. Even as of after the show, I never had a relationship with Tyra, which is unfortunate, right? Because I think that could have been a moment to be like, yo, you did the show, and I might have not given you anything on the show, but afterwards, it's like a reach out, like, yo, Amina, you can still do it. Even words of encouragement, like Miss J reached out to me, like, you know what I mean?
This is so crazy. Like, as I talk to you girls, and again, I always take the stance of I was not there, so I don't feel comfortable saying 100% someone is like this or someone's like that, because I'm only learning about these things through the experiences of other people. But I cannot deny the fact that there are a bunch of reoccurring things and themes, and I know you girls don't, There's no, it can't be a coincidence that all the girls I just so happen to talk to are all saying the same exact thing. And there's certain things that you girls always say. It's, it was like I was being kept around to be tortured. I knew I was taking better photos. Miss J always checked up on me, or Miss J was the realest one there. And it's like,
yeah.
But I think Miss J did that because Miss J cared, right?
mm-hmm.
It wasn't just about TV for Jay Alexander, right? It was, okay, we understand that we're going to use these girls and all these things for the show, but like the ones that maybe he like had an affinity to, like he thought it was funny, had good personality, or just believed that could actually cut it in the industry, he cared. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not like, oh, there was a casting and Miss J was the casting director and then he booked me because he knew me. It was nothing like that. But like, just to have somebody speak positively of you and about you and show you some type of kindness, that goes a really long way to make you feel like worthy and like, all right, this wasn't just for shits and giggles. Like, I might be able to hack it in this industry. So don't give up. It kind of helps you to know that you can make it and to continue irrespective of how you might feel after Top Model, how you might feel about the judges. And to be completely clear, I have nothing but respect for all the judges, like Tyra, Nigel, Miss J, Paulina, and the guest judges, because it's like, yo, they didn't even have to do this. They don't, like, it's not by force. Nobody's putting a gun to their head. Yes, they're getting paid, and we weren't, which I'm still salty about. But it is what it is, right? But it's like, it's your actions after you don't need someone, after you don't need me, after I'm not making you money, that speaks volumes to me. And to me, Miss J gave all the shits. Like, he cared. He gave us, advice, and he gave us his time. And I think that's more priceless than, all the comments that are made when you're on the show. And then like afterwards is radio silence. You don't hear from anyone. And kind of like build you up and then drop you. And
then build you up.
Yeah, they drop you, and then you're just like, panic sets in, and you're just like, what am I gonna do?
What I'm learning from listening to you girls speak and even watching other people talk about their experiences on other competition shows and whatnot, it really sucks what I'm about to say. But it's like, I think we all have failed to realize that after reality, it's still a show that has to generate money. It still has to generate things. And even though these professional people are given their time or given their expertise, they're still using this as a vehicle to accomplish things that they want in life. I mean, I can run down a list of the things that Tyra tried to shove down our throats during the tenure of the show.
Run it down.
You want me to?
Remind the folks. Remind the viewers.
I like you, girl. I like you.
Remind them.
This is why.
I'm not messy, you know what I mean? I just live for a real truth moment. So run it down.
I mean, we could start at the top, girl. She wanted us to think she was a pop singer, so she had us shaking her body. And then girl, she had the talk show going on. It was a cross promotion with that. She wanted us to think she was Oprah. And then it was like, girl, this is my messy voice. And then it was like, girl, she wanted us to like believe she was in mine, so she put out a makeup line, a top model line that I think
that is research, baby.
Huh?
I said you did your research.
And I think top model fans, I believe it's over 750 people watching us right now, guys. Remind me, I don't even think the makeup line ever came out. Then she wanted to crack into the social media sphere and then had these girls doing pop lead them and top and all this other stuff. And then she wanted us to believe something about the people waking up on a model planet, waking up, crawling out of the ground, out of the rocks. And then it's gonna be an amusement park because now she Walt Disney. It's just like, I just want to see a group of bitches get together, 13 of them, and one of them go home every week, and then somebody go be a superstar. That's all I really care about. And Janice Dixon being drunk at the table, Miss J switching and clacking, Mr. J cursing out loud at the photo shoots, Naja Barker looking sexy, and then the things, other things, other things. That's all I need. But it became so much more, and it really ruined the show.
You want to know why? I feel like sometimes when you think you're too big to fail, you lose grasp of like, what was your purpose of starting America's Next Top Model, right?
Say it again.
Like when it's the too big to fail concept, right? So when you lose sight of what the purpose of Top Model is, and it is to give, you know, the non-typical beauty a platform, a light, some type of avenue to break it and to make it and to get some type of representation and publicity, and you run away from that, and you know, now it's like boys and girls, now it's shorter cycles, now it's like you're literally using people with like body dysmorphia and like, you know, scars and like traumas and all of this as like you're tugging at our heartstrings, and this is part of the show. And you know, someone that you probably would never put or book as a model, but it's like it's good TV, and it's like, oh, if we get one girl who is not like quote unquote the same as the rest of the girls, and I'm not even just talking about in shape, size, and color, but in like there's something physically wrong with them. I think it's a good concept to show that, you know, you are also represented, but also don't exploit them, don't use them, you know. And I feel as though it kind of started crossing the line where it's like you were picking girls that you could use to make more money. And I do want to give a shout out to some of the former top models that I've heard call, you know, speak out against the bullshit to being used. Like people gave Winnie a hard time, right, for speaking her truth. But it's like, y'all can't get mad that your fave, you know, isn't friends with your other fave. You know what I mean? That you can't get mad at her for speaking her truth, because her experience is her experience. The same way y'all can't get mad at myself or Teyona or Fo or Celia or any of the, or Allison or anybody else whose perspective is not necessarily what you want to hear or what you have been led to believe all these years. It's like, we're individuals, right? We were all in this show together, but we have individual experiences. Because everything can happen the exact same way, but I could recall it differently. And that's my right, because you weren't there, right? And the same way for anyone else who was part of this ANTM empire, that's their right. So like, don't get mad at them if they're telling you like, yo, this was not nice. It wasn't fun. I felt some type of way. I felt like I was supposed to be the antagonist. That's their prerogative and that's their viewpoint, and they're entitled to it. And the fans, I do want to implore ANTM fans, like shout out to you guys for being fans, but you need to calm down. I can't be fucking mean. Like some of the stuff that was said after Top Model, I was just like, yo, y'all really hate me. Y'all don't even know me. That's wild to me.
Right.
It's wild. Like people have such opinions about myself and Teyona.
You know,
for this moment, right? For this moment. And like in that whole moment, y'all forget that we spoke to Talia. Like y'all forget that there were producers there. Like we spoke to the producers. Like it's not like we just, you know, we ran on top on all these bitches. Like, you know what I mean? Like we came in, we didn't say nothing, and then me and Teyona were just like ready to fire assault on girls. And like for me, that moment was indicative of like when Black women speak, nobody believes us. We're clearly the bullies. We're clearly the problem children. Meanwhile, like you guys had a whole meeting to say that if your girl got kicked off, this is what you're gonna do. You execute it. You do it. So now you're mad that we have something to say about it. We're all in this house together. We're all in this competition together. So of course we're gonna feel some type of way. And you have to understand this is not a real world setting. So it's like everything in your world is in this like tunnel. All you know is, you know, the bubble that you're put in. So it might seem like it's been blown out of proportion, but it really was that big of a deal in the moment. And we really wanted to just have a conversation and let Celia particularly know that this shit wasn't cool. Like what you did was messed up. And I have something to say about it. And then Allison came in, and I was really, y'all I don't know by now. Like, I love Allison. Like, and she was really sweet, but like her and Celia were super close. Like, you could say that me and Teyona were like this. So Celia and Allison were like this. And it's like, okay, so you coming at Celia. Allison felt the need to like defend Celia. And I was just like, baby girl, nobody's talking to you. And I'm actually disappointed in you.
Very passive aggressive.
Let me tell y'all something.
Very passive?
Very passive aggressive. Very passive.
Let me tell y'all something. When I watch reality TV, I always live for the moments when my people are being my people. Mm-hmm. Like I love to see my culture on full display on TV. Mm-hmm. And when Miss Teyona, I'm finna talk about both of y'all. When Miss Teyona looked over to Allison, I don't know why you over there crying because you had something to do with this too. Said, oh my God. And when Miss Amina descended from the steps and crossed over into the kitchen to lean over the counter and let Mother know that you stupid. You're stupid. You're stupid. You are nothing. I said.
And can I be honest, y'all? All I said was she was stupid. Like, I remember watching that clip, right? And then it's like, yes. Was I out of pocket? I didn't beat her ass.
Right? Because when I tell y'all, they did not show. Natalie had a lot of mouth. When I say a lot of mouth. And she'd be like, go ahead, hit me so you can get sent home. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction, but as long as you know, you try me in here, we both going home because I'm going to wipe your ass on this floor. Like, no, she was very disrespectful and they showed none of it. But
and thank you for saying that because it's like she was such a, hit me. Like she just always wanted to instigate, right? Instigate. And the thing is, it's like, of course you want me to act my color. Of course you want me to act black. Like, and not in a negative way, but in a way where it's like, you know what? All I gotta do is yoke you up one time by the throat, and it's over, right? And then I'll be disqualified. But it's like, it's not worth it. But in the same breath, like if somebody calls you stupid and you're that hurt about it, then it must be true.
Yikes.
Because it's like, if you call me out of my name, I'm just gonna be like, okay, and it's like my whole thing is like, you call me a bitch. Yes. Okay. And like, I'm going to accept it. Okay. Now what? What do we do? Right? But it was just kind of like, she came on confessional and she was just like, I've never been called stupid in my life. I've never been, scared. And I'm like, yo, sis, like these little tears, I will lick your tears as you're crying because like, you know what you're doing. And like Teyona said, there was so much stuff that happened that the camera didn't, like they didn't air on camera. And it's not that it was off camera, it was on camera. They know it. And they just decided to just like not portray her in that way. And to be honest, I don't even know how they portrayed Natalie. Like it wasn't bad, it wasn't good. And that was then. Like Natalie then is not the same Natalie now, right? The same way, like for me, Amina then is not the same Amina now. Like we're similar, but like thank God for evolution and thank God for Jesus, because I was a hot mess,
My boyfriend, who can give two rats asses about Top Model, is being forced to watch it when I'm watching on the TV to prepare for my interviews, and he kept reading Natalie. He said, "Who is this bitch? She must leave because she is not nice. She is not kind."
No.
Yeah.
There was nothing likable about Natalie other than that nice mole that was perfectly placed on her face.
But people look at that and say, "Oh, Natalie was so nice and she was attacked." And Teyona and Amina, they're so mean. Like in the comments, people literally like would eat me alive, and it's like you weren't there, but you see how she's acting, and like so higher than thou, and like can't be touched, and we should all bow down at her feet, and that's okay. But if I stand up for myself, it's a problem. Even now, like the last thing we did, Oliver, people in the comments, "Oh, Teyona's still mad." All these years, like, nobody's mad, but do you guys want to hear my side, or do you want to sit and think what you want? Because if I'm telling you, and you're still mad about how I'm telling you how I felt about what happened with the situation.
Yeah. And also, if you were mad, that's your right? At the end of the day, I feel as though people need to stop thinking that when Black women raise their voice and we, have passion and we have energy and we do all of this, we're mad. No, we're passionate. And that's how we express our passion. Like when I'm mad, you will understand and you will know. There will be no confusion of my anger. So like me telling you what happened with vim and energy, it's not me being an angry Black woman. And we need to get away from, you know, stereotyping Black girls and Black women when they raise their voice and they speak up for themselves and they, you know, tell their story with passion. You feel offended. You feel, why do you feel targeted? Why do you feel like I'm trying to come at you? That's on you. That has nothing to do with me. I'm telling you what I'm telling you. How you perceive and receive that is on you. So I feel like I implore people to give us a lot more grace and be kinder, to understand that we're telling our stories. And like for us, we're emotional about it because we went through it and we lived it.
Yeah.
So don't come at me and say Teyona is mad or Amina is, you know, jealous or whatever. No. That's your perception and you're projecting. Stop it. So yeah.
Teyona, to light it up a little bit, who do you believe had the best? Because girl, I'll get lost on the ideas of what stereotypes that the stereotypes that the people have on us that you guys helped create when you told my ancestors a long time ago they couldn't speak and they couldn't go to the bathroom, they couldn't do these things and they didn't mean anything and they were a fraction of a person, all these other things. These were the things that you expected us to be. And when we grew out of it, now you want to, but I'm not going to get lost down that rabbit hole. Teyona, who had the best picture of the competition? LOL, Alex said, who had the best picture out of the competition outside of yourself, in your opinion?
I'm going to give it to Foe's red picture when she had the red color on her face. That picture, when they saw it, was like, woo! When they popped it all, it was like, woo! That was, yeah.
That was a great photo.
Yeah. And you know what I thought was a great photo? It's still in the same, that yellow, Teyona, when you were yellow, you look like an angel. Like, I feel like that picture should be like a stock image for like just Black girl magic and melanin. Like when you type in melanin, Black girl magic, yellow, sunflower, that picture should come up because I felt like that picture was also iconic as well. And I think Fo won that challenge, didn't she? Yeah, Fo won that red challenge. And don't get me wrong, she deserved to win. But I also, because I'm biased, yellow is my favorite color. I don't know if y'all realize, y'all know what time it is. But like, I saw that picture and I was just wowed, you know, of you, T. So that was a really great photo. And I really don't remember any other great photos, like, because everything else was so extra. No, I'm being real. Like everything was so extra. Like when I think of like a photo shoot, you think about it. That was like one of the very few beauties that we did that was like artistic. Besides, like CoverGirl was a beauty shot, right? Because it's from here to here. But no, that was like the most fun, and that was the only photo shoot that we shot with a Black photographer. So shout out to Keith Major, and I love me some Keith Major. He is a phenomenal photographer, artist himself. So like the fact that that's like the two like the pictures that come up as best photo and it was by a Black man, y'all need to give up some credit to Black folks, okay? Because we be doing the damn thing.
Yes,
we can.
We have
just to give a disclaimer, guys. I'm not looking down because I'm not interested. I'm just reading questions so I can make sure I
no, it's cool. No,
let me ask you this. So you're a fan of the show, you watch it. And I know before you had said, you know, somebody had said me and Amina were like bullies. What did you think of me and Amina?
Yeah.
You watched the show. How did you feel about it?
You know, to be quite honest, you know, I may be a little biased.
No, you got to be honest. We want all honesty.
But I'm being honest. I'm just saying my honesty just may be rooted in me being biased.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't see you girls as being mean. I didn't see that. I felt like the things you guys were responding to, I probably would have responded to her or even worse. Like, as I talk to you girls and I think about this show, I don't think I would have lasted a day in this house because let them bitches would have got together and did some shit like that.
Right.
None of my footage would have been usable because it would have been beep, beep, bleep, 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 all types of words I definitely cannot say right now. It would have been very like I personally felt like you guys responded in a way that I can relate to. Like you girls got together and conspired and did this. And like Teyona said in our chat, if Sandra would have gone home, would you have stepped up and did the same thing? No, you wouldn't have. Like,
no, we wouldn't.
And
we
even
wouldn't.
watching just like certain trigger words that they were using when they were in that closet, the episode isn't fresh in my brain, so I can't quote them. But there were like certain phrases they were using. I was like,
right.
I'm happy it was not me.
And I think I can't remember exactly, but I think after that situation happened, I feel like I remember Sandra coming up there being like, "Hey guys, we talked about this beforehand." Was that then, Amina? Did she do that?
Yes.
Spill it, Sandra, spill it.
Yes, Sandra came up there and was like, they talked about that the night before, XYZ. And we were like, oh, okay. So that it off.
And that's when Sandra wanted to like kind of like not switch sides, but be nicer.
Yeah.
And it was just like, yo, a little too late, sis. But like, we appreciate the tea. Right. But you know, I still don't trust you. And then that's when she literally came around and she just realized like there was no point in her, you know, purposely being this way, right? Purposely being problematic, purposely being like the antagonizer, right? Of like always wanted to say something just to say something. But she came through with the tea and she told us like, nah, they planned this. This is what they had in mind. So this is not new. And we were like, oh.
I said, I don't know, were you in the room when she did that? Or did I come back and tell you? I can't remember, but
no, I was in the room with you, T. I was in the room. We were in the room together.
And 20-year-old me and like 32, now I still would address the situation, but maybe differently. But 20-year-old me was turned up like, y'all low down, dirty.
And Teyona, I laugh when you look at Tolly and you tell her, stop telling them stuff. Don't tell them nothing else. Like if you didn't sound like every aunt or mother that I grew up around, would that be like, well, don't take your ass around them no more. Come around the, don't go around the no.
They're not your friends.
That scene is so iconic to just the petty part of me. It is so funny because it's y'all were Listen, let's keep these questions going because we don't have much time left on our hands. Teyona, what is your favorite episode?
I would say the one where we were at the beach in Brazil. Because I know that the pictures and things came out good, but that whole day we were at the beach having like a great time, like just having so much fun. And I think it was me, Amina, Celia, and Allison. I think in that moment it was kind of, because I never really talked to Celia and Allison that much, but I feel like in that moment we were all like, woo, we're here together. Like, let's just have a good time together. So that might be one of them.
What about you, Amina?
It's also Brazil. So it's kind of a toss up between the Carmen Miranda shoot, because we shot in the favelas. And if you've ever been to Brazil and seen like the favelas, it's supposed to be like shantytown type of energy, but the people were so beautiful and so warm and inviting. And it was like little Brazilian boys and girls looking at us like, oh, wow, they're so beautiful. Wow. You know, like similar skin color. And it gave them some type of hope. So for me, that really touched me and motivated me, even though like that shoot was also kind of like problematic as well, you know, just production wise. And then it was,
what happened?
They just kept telling us it's unsafe. Like, you know, you got to be careful. They kept like trying to, a lot of things with security. And it was actually the most safest that I felt. Like it was actually, the people in those communities, they were so welcoming. Like they didn't even try to bother us while we were shooting. You know what I mean? They allowed us the space, and like production is just in your ear telling you, oh, it's not safe. You got to be careful. You know, I just felt that energy always in my ear. And I'm like, that's not what I'm feeling in real life. What I'm feeling is like, these people are excited to see us. They're excited that, you know, we're in their community shooting a Carmen Miranda shoot. So I felt like that was kind of why it was problematic from production, you know, perspective, not necessarily from, like our photo shoot. And then like they got on me for doing, what do they call it, the black girl thing with the hand on the hip.
Oh yeah.
That pose. And like, you know what's so sad? That was such a moment. That was such a pose that they could have like embraced, because like I looked at like what's her name? Ducky. She did that pose. I see a lot of black models and white models who do that pose, and then I got shit for doing that pose, and I was just kind of like, okay, I'll take my L on that. But my favorite, I would say, challenge was the samba challenge. When we were dancing. I know I love to dance. I love to move. So that was a fun episode. They aired it, and then we got to keep our little dresses. Remember, I had the purple fringe. I still have that dress too.
Yeah.
So yeah, the samba challenge, but like Brazil was it for me. You could not. Brazil, my spirit, my whole entire soul was happy. So all the Brazil episodes was a vibe.
On Teyona, I just scrolled down my questions that I have plucked out before, and this one stuck out to me. I don't know if this is true or not. So the person is asking, why were you not invited back to the Tyra Banks show as a winner to speak, to be featured on the episode, like how she had done other winners?
Oh, I didn't even know she did that. But I can say, it might just be because of how honest I was with certain situations outside of it. So after the show, I think, like I said, I had that incident where, they didn't provide me any stylists or anything after that. So once I got signed with Elite, and after talking to McKee, just hearing how they were going to do the drunk incident with the producer, I was going on interviews at like places they were sending me, and the girls were like, I want to be on Top Model. What should I do? And I'd be like, if you're trying to model, they think the way for you. They don't care about you. You'll never be successful. If you want to be a reality TV star, sure, go on Top Model. But if you want to model, do X, Y, Z. And I think I did 2 more interviews after that, and they were like, well, that's probably a lot of it. Because I'm not going to lie to these people for what? They're not, no.
They said, cut her mic off now.
Yep, that's pretty much, I'm glad you said it. They were like, we can't have her talking negatively about Top Model Empire. No. What we're not going to do is tell the truth. Right. No, let's keep them with the lie, guys. Come on.
And and that's probably why you guys never had a reunion. Can you imagine the editing that they would have to do if you guys ever would have taped a reunion? That would have been a big, expensive editing bill.
I don't know if you remember, Amina, when we went back to do the Tyra show all together, like you can bring a plus one with you. Natalie brought her mom. And I felt like her mom was the person in the situation, like trying to be super nice. She's like, oh my God, I love you. You're so beautiful. Natalie said how amazing. It's like, girl, get out of here. Like I still I have nothing for your daughter now, just like I had then. Like, no. So I just felt like, it probably would be very intense. But yeah.
But I think it would have been good. I think it would have been cathartic for us to have a reunion, just because like we've gotten to reset, it's not like right after the show, now we're doing a reunion. We gotten to go home, got to go into the real world, especially after we watched the episode. I think we should have done the reunion after our cycle was over. They should have had a Top Model reunion so that we could, just laugh about it and kiki about it, and be like, damn, why didn't they air that Natalie, meltdown? But that's why they didn't, because I feel as though they knew in our cycle there was so much tea that happened, and the fact that the way it was edited wasn't, in my opinion, the most honest. That's probably why. And also they probably didn't care. Probably just like, all right, because after our cycle, that's when they started getting weird. I don't know if you guys realize, after cycle 12, it was the shorter cycle. Then it got, I don't know what, 14. I think they went back to normal. And then it was just always like they had to do something to make
keep it alive.
Yeah. And then we were the last, in my opinion, the last real cycle. We were the last real Top Model contestant. And not saying that 13th and 14th and 15th and whatever, but it's like for me, I felt a shift from production to try to make it bigger. This magnomania of like what the show is now. And I'm just kind of like, yo, you don't have to make it, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. The wheel is the wheel. Grease that bitch and keep it moving.
Listen, Amina, I asked Teyona this the last time her and I spoke, and I asked you this. Well, I'll ask you one question before I ask that. When was the last time you saw Tyra?
The reunion?
Yikes.
For, when we were in the Tyra Banks show. No, I'm lying. I think it was probably, I want to say like 2009 or 2010. Because I did the Tyra Banks show a few times. Like I came on as a model. Like she would have me as a talent. And those are sweet. So that was probably the last time I saw Tyra Bank, like in person, face to face. I used to follow her Instagram, and I was just like, no, so I unfollowed. I know that sounds like shady and salty, but it's not that. It's just like when you know something to not be true, I don't want to be complicit in the lies and the BS. So it's just like it's just better for me to remove and not to follow. And there's certain people I don't follow. Like, it's my page. I'm allowed to. So to answer your question, it's probably like 2010, the last time I saw her. And like I said, there's no real interaction. There's no like personal, like, oh, Amina, how are you? How are you doing? The only people who really care about me is probably hair and makeup and like the producers who actually booked me for that episode. You know, they're like, oh, how are you doing? And then they'll send you a car, because I was living in Jersey at the time, to pick you up and take you. So it was nice treatment. It was nice money. And that's the only reason why I get SAG-AFTRA checks, was because of being a talent on the Tyra Banks show. But top model, I wish I know what I know now then.
If you could stand before Tyra in 2020 and say anything, what would you say?
We were rooting for you, Tyra. We was all rooting for you, Tyra. We expected more from you, Tyra. I'm so disappointed in you. I'm so disappointed in you because, you know, what you portray on television is not necessarily who you are. And I think it's important for you to spill the tea and be honest to these girls. Be honest to your fans. Let your hair down, Tyra. We want to see the real you, Tyra. With love, with love. With love, with love.
All due respect.
With love, it's all love.
I'm going to ask you guys one more question. Teyona, what is one of the biggest things you want to clear up about you on cycle 12 on Top Model?
Clear up? Nothing. Y'all they gonna think what they want. But as you can see, I'm not. You know, you're gonna think what you want because how they edited it. But I'm a good person. But it's not up to me to prove that to you guys. I mean, I was 20. Handle me with grace, because 20-year-old me is not the same as 32-year-old me. But that's if you want to, you know. I give myself lots of props because my mom told me before we left to film, Teyona, don't get on national television and fight anybody. And I did not. So because of that, I'm proud of me. So that's that.
What about you, Amina?
What would I like to clear up?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question, by the way. I don't know. I don't feel like I need to clear up anything, just because I feel as though, you know, who I was then and who I am now, you could see the evolution, you could see the growth, you could see the glow up. But I think what I do want to reiterate is, like, we were young, right? And I was an inexperienced model, like aspiring model, because I didn't know what I was doing. So like, look at us with those lenses and don't look at like professional models who got this opportunity to be on Top Model and blew it, because I feel like that's what people think. Like, especially when people look at me, they'd be assuming that I knew what I was doing. Meanwhile, I was figuring out on national television on the show. So I think that's important to note, but I probably would have done the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, if the question is, if you were to do it again, would you? Yes, I would do it again the exact same way I did it, because like, it was authentically me. Like, the things that we did that you guys didn't see off camera, the kindness that we gave, the love, the advice, the sisterhood that we gave, the tea that we were spilling, the little notes we write ourselves because we were on ice, like, those things were really genuine. The connections that we made are real. So I just hope that people who watch these like competition shows, whether it's The Voice or American Idol or America's Next Top Model, can give these contestants that you're watching a lot of grace, because you don't know what people are dealing with mentally, spiritually, or physically. So be kind. Kindness will get you a long way. And yes, we're here for your entertainment, but we're not here for you to beat us up. So don't be fucking trigger bullies on keyboards you know, and hiding behind an avatar and saying really evil things about people's faces. Like, Mike, like, we were young. Like, I grew into myself, to say the least. You know what I mean? We grew into who we were supposed to become. So just be kinder to people. I think that's important to note.
I'm gonna leave us out on this story. So last week when I was uploading content to my page, I didn't know YouTube had gone out, right? And so I was trying to like take text from one thing and put it on another, but I couldn't play the video. So immediately I said, oh girl, Tyra done got me, girl. She done got me. She done pulled me together. So I was like, well, let me go check out my other videos to see if they're gonna play. Nothing would play. I said, oh my God,
What?
Tyra has come through and serviced my page. I'm like, Tyra, I didn't say one thing about you, but then I found out YouTube was just down for an hour for maintenance. So.
I honestly don't think she cares that much. You know, she's living her best life, collecting her checks, like, and this is, and I think we need to understand there's no such thing as bad press, right? So we could talk negatively, we could talk positively. As long as you're talking about top model, it's giving them press, it's giving her good press, it's collecting the money. So I think that it's important for me to plug that I'm starting my own body butter line. You know, it's called Orisha Skin. Look out for it at the end of 2020, 2021. And if you want to get this glow, you want to be hydrated and moisturized, holla at your girl, Amina, because I got you.
I mean, and I'm strictly dickly, but I can't help, and I will be lying if I didn't say during this whole interview, I was admiring the way your cassavas were just in your chest area. It was just so beautiful. Like, it's just beautiful, you know?
Thank you. I wanted to give a different energy. You know, last time we was giving yellow golden goddess with me and Teyona. So I was going to wear yellow again, but I was like, let me give them a little Cavalli moment. You know what I mean? Let me give them a little bustier, you know?
Yes, ma'am.
Campbell energy.
Amina and Teyona, I really do think you guys should start doing content on social media. Like, the people obviously love you guys together. You guys have a nice synergy about yourselves. And as someone I do this all day, whether it be for myself or other people in this store, you guys have an innate natural thing that you cannot buy. That I really think you girls should get together. I don't know what it is. It doesn't even have to be top model related. It could be whatever you girls want to talk about, black girl magic, you know, whatever. But I really do think you girls should get together and start curating content on your own channel, in your own space, because you girls are very funny.
Thank you. Thank you.
That means a lot. Thank you, Oliver.
So you telling us that if we need a little advice, you gonna help us?
Of course, I'll waive the consultation fee.
Oh, thank you. Bless your heart. Bless your heart.
Yes.
No, I'm
like,
so
listen,
appreciative.
Once we start monetizing, you can get your nice little coinage. You know what I mean? Like,
Like a little token of love, but they say the black church when the pastor comes.
No, see, I don't be none of that. I just the fact that you girls are out there winning is enough for me. It's so enough for me.
Thank you.
And honestly, I just want to say thank you. This has been so pleasant. It wasn't messy. It wasn't like catty and drama. Not that, you know, that's a problem. Sometimes you need that. But it was just really refreshing to see beautiful chocolate faces talk and, you know, and get on and like talk about something that I feel as though a lot of people felt some type of way about, you know, and I'm speaking for myself. Like, I watched my cycle and I felt some type of way. I was just like, really? That's how y'all gonna do me? Okay. It's okay. I will show you. So I'm just happy that, like, you can see that there is love between Teyona and I. You can see that there is love between Fo and I. You can see that whoever it is that we're going to talk to, there is love. Like, and I tell people this all the time, like, I don't have a problem with Natalie, y'all. I don't. In real life, like, she's not the same person she was. I'm not the same person I was. It was just on that show, we just didn't gel. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to be friends with everybody in the world. Like, some people you're going to get on with, some people you're not. But what you're not going to do is now start making it seem like I'm hating on someone. So it's all love. We're leading with love. Even with Tyra, it's all love because,
all love.
I look at her and I, you know, like there's this role model element, this like tie, you know, tie, auntie tie situation. And then you realize that's not what it is. You still coming from a place of love. Like you can't be disappointed in someone if you don't care about them. You know what I mean? It's just easy to write them off. So I'm just hoping that in the future she can make it right. And if she's not willing to make it right, that's okay too. She did what she did. Let's keep it moving.
And with that, before I let you guys go, when I posted our flyer last week, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the top 3 that Cycle 12 deserves.
Needed.
And I'm here to tell both of you hussies, if I was there, both of you were finished. I just want to let you know. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Another Twixt exclusive. Please follow Amina on all of her social media. Follow Teyona on all of her social media. Thank you guys for spending time with me. Girls, I wish I could hug you so much right now. I really hope I can meet you guys one day. When the world opens up, when you guys bring your asses down to Atlanta, please feel free to call me because I love a reason to turn up.
I'm ready. After Jeezy and Gucci last night, I'm ready.
Yes.
Girl, let me tell you something. I was watching it. I said, please don't let them start shooting. Please don't start shooting. Just please. But anyways, I know, Teyona, you have to go. So we're going to end this. Listen, I love you guys. Love you guys for watching. Thank you so much. Be safe out here, guys. And remember to Kegel and pray because who doesn't want a tight kitty cat?
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Hallelujah.
Guys.
Bye.
Bye.